This is Infection, the survival podcast, recorded live on Tuesday, March 27th, 2018, episode 167. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Infection, the survival podcast. Infection is your source for the latest information on survival video games. We bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig and visit our website, infectionpodcast.com. Joining me, hopefully will be joining me as he's telling me he has computer issues right before we start, Brian with a no power, no UPS on his computer, Aldridge. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Doing well. Hey, everybody. If you want to find me at Boise Computer on Twitter, of course, you can go check out my blog, biteoftech.com. Also, make sure you go to our website. We have links to our Discord, links to our Steam group, if you want notifications when the show is starting. Also, our audio-only forums, if you want to find the podcast RSS links, and our YouTube channel. So if you're looking to find us, but of course, if you catch us live here on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern, we do a live show on twitch.tv, so we'll have a link to that as well. If you're ever wondering what we're talking about, maybe it would be easier if you saw some show notes or something. Just go to our website, click on the episode that you were listening to, and we'll have show notes there where it has video links, sometimes links to different websites that we're referring to. And so it's a good way to kind of keep up with the show when we're talking. Maybe you can't watch the video of what we're doing and you're listening only. It's a great way to just kind of watch and see what we're seeing at the same time. So a nice tool. I think that's about it for the self-promotion.
I do have to say, Brian, I'm going to crucify you publicly for this one. You run a blog called The Bite of Tech, and you spell out BITE of tech.com.
Yes.
You write blogs about Linux and doing things in Linux and doing stuff with auto SSL and all this other fun stuff. Yet you don't have a universal power supply, a battery backup on your computer.
Nope. I know. Yeah, I don't.
How
have
long
power
did you
issues here at the house?
But how long?
Never have.
How long did you either own or operate that computer company that you had?
I have owned it for 13 years.
13 years. So you install computers and hardware in businesses.
Yes.
And you do not have a UPS on your own system.
No, I only have them on the servers. So I've never had a power fluctuation here. I still don't think it's the power. I think it's the power supply, not the actual power.
I just am very disappointed in you. I'm just very disappointed in you.
Not a big fan of they only last for so long, and
mine's very old. I bought it used and it's in great shape.
Yeah, but the thing is, you got to see if your battery still holds.
It does. I mean, I had a power outage the other day.
Test it.
Yeah, I mean, it was enough time that I could shut down if I needed to. Luckily, the power came back on. But I've
just gone through enough of them. I'm just like, and I've never had any issues here. In my office, the power there, it was a really old building, so I would have a UPS there just because you never knew. And I actually had a thing that told me the exact power. It's plugged in the wall, and it tells me the power at that moment, so I can actually see if there's power fluctuations. Yeah,
there you go.
Yep, one of those.
So there you go. Let's see what's going on. What else is going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, so yesterday, actually a couple days ago, I bought the new Far Cry, and so last night I was playing that a little bit.
You're playing that on PlayStation?
For PS4.
Oh, very cool. Getting your money's worth.
Yeah. Well, and I bought the one with has a season pass and everything, because it looks like they've got 3 different season or DLCs that they've already announced that they'll be doing for it. One's a zombie one looks like it's in Vietnam, and then one in space. So I have no idea what that's going to entail with this, how it all works. But I wanted to see the level environment, like the level design and all that stuff is what I'm really interested in, running around and seeing the world. That's what I like about games like that, where they put a lot of detail in there. For me, I just kind of run around and just enjoy the environment. Far Cry, I mean, if you played Far Cry before, you see it gets kind of repetitive. So I watched some things on it They did change up to where you're not climbing up towers. One thing that they made clear is like you're not climbing up towers and claiming things repeatedly. So I think they're trying to fix that and make it less of that repetitive game. There's a lot of side quests now that you can do. You should be running around and someone only need help with something to kind of keep you distracted. It gets you so distracted from the original quest line. You forget where you were going and what you were doing. So it is fun. I played it for probably 2 hours, I think, so far. So I'm sure there's a lot more to the story.
Well, good, and we'll have a little conversation about that. How was Game of the Week?
You were there. I was not there. Now, I was expecting to be there.
Wait, now hold on a second. I'm trying to remember. Did you bring Game of the Week? Did you choose the Game of the Week last week?
Yeah. Yes, I did. I picked CS:GO.
And what happened? But you didn't play?
I did not. I forgot that is actually was the night of my anniversary and my wife's birthday, which I figured if I chose to do Game of the Week,
you no longer have a wife.
She would still have birthdays, but there wouldn't be no more anniversaries.
I mean, so there's worse things in the world. You know, there's worse things in the world, Brian. I mean,
yeah, there are a few worse things in the world, like dying and things like that.
Well, yeah. So PH and I had a good time playing CS:GO. Joe played for a little while, but was having internet issues. And I played it a couple times over the weekend.
I kept asking, "Have you called to get your new internet yet?" He says, "I'm busy."
Yeah, so I don't know what the deal is. I don't know what the deal is with that, but yeah, we had a good time. PH and I had a good time playing some CS:GO. I got a couple pretty legit. It's funny now because I remember when we first started playing CS:GO. However long we've been doing game, we've played it a couple times, maybe a handful of times. And it was impossible for me to do anything. But now that we've played it a couple of times, my first game or two is a little rusty. But after that, I've kind of got the swing of the, you can't jump and shoot kind of thing. I got the swing of it a little bit. So I was able to kind of just fall right into it. We played for probably about 2 hours or so. And then I played a couple times over the weekend as well.
I would probably do better now that since I've played a lot of Call of Duty. Now I wonder if
no,
because I've never really played a game like that. Does it not help you at all?
Well, the problem with the difference between a game like Call of Duty and a game like CS:GO is you cannot move and shoot for the most part. You pretty much have to be standing still. It's very hard to move and shoot. Your bullets become very inaccurate. And in COD, that's kind of how you play. You run and gun. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt, but it's much different than Call of Duty. It's a much more it's a much more precise mechanic. Much more everything is very precise compared to a game like Call of Duty. So yeah, we had a good time. And coming up this week, I will not be in town. I will actually be up in New York. I'm fortunate to be able to go home for a couple of days for Easter. So nice. What are y'all going to be playing this week?
All right, so this is something that was just announced. I figured maybe it'd be fun to try, but the RoboCraft Royale. So it's a battle royale for RoboCraft that was just announced.
Cool. And we've played RoboCraft. We played
a regular RoboCraft. Yeah, we played that. And this is something that everybody's jumping on to the battle royale bandwagon. So so this is RoboCraft Royale. It is free to play. It's a separate downloaded client. So just make sure that you download it. Just search for RoboCraft Royale. It's free to play as well. But yeah, it's available right now if you want to log in there and give it a try. But you drop in with your ship and it's actually a big open world type of a thing. So it looks pretty interesting. It looks like they have teams and everything. And I guess they figured since you can run and shoot and do all those things and you fight people, that it'd be fun to do it this way. It's 100 players on there. And you can have all these different kind of ships, all your, customized ship that you want to have. You can fly.
Wow, the map is huge.
Whatever ship you have, 64 kilometers squared. So it's a big.
Holy moly.
Yeah, big map. So cool. Yeah, it's a battle royale. So we'll try that out, see how it is. I think people enjoy it. I don't know that we'll play it anymore after the game of the week, but
you know what?
Should be interesting.
All serious aside, and PH asking, is this Roblox BR? In all seriousness, it is important to try all these different games out. it's so funny because Brian, you and I lived through, and most people in chat lived through the zombie phase. And while it was happening, you know, for me, it was like my first like big. I mean, I think you could make the argument it was one of the first genre phases that I think we saw. When it started in 2010 and 2011, I think.
Yeah.
Before that, I don't know if there was any phase like that. This is right when, releasing games before they're finished is kind of a thing. So we had this phase of zombie games that started with Arma 2. It's something started beforehand, but it started around the Arma 2 stuff with the DayZ mod. And we've seen the progress of that. And it's funny now to watch Battle Royale and know that it's going to be a very, very similar thing, where it's gonna, they're all this hype at the beginning.
Yeah, we know that it's gonna eventually. They're gonna make too many of them. Everything is gonna have. I mean, because look at Red Dead Redemption, right? They delayed it because they're putting in a VR mode.
Yeah.
Isn't that what?
Yeah,
remember correctly?
Yeah, they're literally delaying it by like 3 or 4 months
To put in a VR mode. So obviously they feel it's important. And so I think that all these things will go on this VR kick because it's a new game mode. It's something fresh to them. But eventually it's not going to be fresh anymore, and people are just going to be like, okay,
next thing.
What's next?
Well,
and it's a tough thing to judge what's going to be next, but there's definitely going to be a next.
Well, it is. And also expecting a new GTA in some time within the next probably year or so. And you would imagine that you talk about a game for, Battle Royale, GTA seems to kind of be a great contender for it. With how open world it is.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to kind of see how literally everybody and their mother is now creating a Royale version of a game that already exists, or a new game that's based around Royale. So we'll see. The crap will sink, the cream will rise to the top. Similarly, the way that it did in the zombie community. The good mods like DayZ rose to the top. There was a whole bunch of junk that, I remember playing these awful mods and these cobbled together games, and that stuff just sank. So we'll see a similar thing here, but I think I wish I could play that. I won't, but I won't be able to.
Yeah.
My computer probably could play it, but who knows?
And I'm just wondering, and eventually they'll probably, the big kick seems to be now going to tablet, going to mobile.
Yes.
And so I think that some of these games, you have these people going to this, but I think a big kick is going to be now taking existing game modes and making them mobile, because mobile's been really limited up to this point.
I would agree. Yes.
Everything was very obvious. This was a mobile game. That is not a mobile game. I think the lines are being blurred now, because I played a little bit of the PUBG Mobile today, and as I play it more, it's feeling more and more like the desktop version to me, because I'm getting better with the gun. I'm, sitting up on a hill sniping. Remember, I think I said in this, like, you won't be able to sit there and sit up on a hill and snipe. I think I said that a month ago. And that's what I found myself doing. I got an 8X scope. I'm sitting up on a hill sniping people, on my phone. And I think that there's going to be the expectation of doing that. And I think the thing that's going to step forward from this is emerging. This is my prediction mode here. I think there's going to be I'll write it down.
I'm being serious.
I am.
Okay.
So I think that there's going to be emerging now because VR was its own thing, right?
Yep.
And there was a big, look at that. That's a VR game. I think that we're going to go to a thing where now you can maybe have some glasses or something that you put on your head that's not necessarily VR because it makes you dizzy, right? That allows you to see your phone screen. If they can figure out a way to do that and merge mobile gaming to where it doesn't have to be on the road, but you have a lightweight device rather than a computer. Imagine how many people that you'll bring in to game, because it's almost like a PC experience with very lightweight hardware.
Yeah.
So I think that that's something that if they can merge it to where them some sort of a better display, but how, the thing is how do you keep the controls? Do you then just turn the phone into a controller Like, I mean, that's a possibility, but if you can't see it, I mean, there's this weird that do you think then have a thing where you detect where your fingers are at on there? I mean, it's just there's a whole mess, but I think that's where it's going to start going. If they can make that a seamless experience, come out with new hardware, maybe the knobs and stuff that we were talking about that go on the side of the phone, I think you'll kind of bring it into a whole new era of gaming, getting away from the super crazy graphics because that's hard to develop all the time. Um, it's hard to make games like Far Cry, Far Cry 5, to where they're just that beautiful. There's so much going into it, and smaller studios can't go to that detail. They don't have 1,000 people to sit there and make every little detail super high quality. So I think that you'll be seeing maybe a little more lightweight games like we're seeing now on mobile being pushed and going to more platforms rather than everything going to PC to be the tests, which has happened instantly. I mean, Arc is going mobile. PUBG's mobile. You got Fortnite, which is mobile. I just think you're going to see, and it's starting with Unreal because the Unreal Engine has accepted this early and adapted to it early. But as soon as Unity does it, I don't know, some of the others will struggle to do it. But Unity will probably then adjust their tools to make it easily to go mobile. And I think that you'll start seeing this happen on a lot more things to where all the games that you consider PC games are just going to be releasing simultaneously to the mobile market and to the PC at the same time.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've been trying to get access to the Arc Mobile. I've sent them a couple tweets. I actually just sent them a direct message. I've tweeted them a couple of times. I actually missed a DM that I should have seen. It didn't pop up for some reason. But clearly, there's going to be. We've had the long VR talk. We had a very long mobile game talk last week. So it makes sense that there's going to be some type of hybrid mix there. I don't know how it's going to happen.
I mean, there's an issue with the thing with the VR is you just can't do it for long periods of time, and it's neat novelty. I mean, I think eventually if they can get past the dizziness, the sense, because people want to play this for hours.
Correct.
I mean, if you're going to play VR, you don't want to be like, oh, I can play for an hour and then I got to stop because I start getting dizzy. Like, they need to get past that. They need to figure out what it is. Because I mean, we see in the world all the time in 3D, and we're not sitting there with our heads spinning constantly. So there's got to be a way that they can figure it out. Whether the display works differently.
But something. I mean, but you do have the issue with 3D movies. 3D movies irritate my eyes incredibly. It doesn't make me sick.
See, they go with some sort of like a blur effect. Like, they're not doing separate displays to each eye. Okay. The problem with 3D movies is like they're doing this blur thing that the lenses is then fixing.
No, I got that, but I think the point I'm trying to illustrate is if you come up with a concept or something and it affects a third of the people in a very negative way, you've got a very hard time. I mean, I can go and watch a 3D movie, like a 90-minute 3D movie, and I'm fine. I get towards the end, I get a little bit uncomfortable, but it's not like
I just find I don't enjoy them as much. Like, I
don't enjoy them either.
I just don't feel that great.
I mean, I don't enjoy them either, but my point is I can bear it. There's some people that can't. Yeah. So how can you're talking about potentially some type of technology where, an X amount of people are just physically incapable of interacting or playing it. So I don't know what the mix is going to be. I'm hoping to get access to the Arc Mobile here in the next 2 weeks or so. I'm not going to have it. If I get it, I'm not going to have any time over Easter to play it. I'm not going to plan on playing it. So we'll see what comes of that. But clearly, mobile trend is going to be the way it goes.
It may be something that's short-lived though too. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to. I don't know that this one will reverse, just because people on mobile, like, it's exciting to have a game that's so deep on mobile, and it's working. I mean, look at Fortnite on mobile. It works well, and it feels fun to play. The same thing with PUBG, and I've talked about Vainglory, which. I don't think a lot of people, there's a big community of people that play it, but I don't think a lot of the people in our community have played it. But if you enjoy playing MOBAs, Vainglory is very close. They did it probably first. They came up with a game that's very similar in mechanics, feels like a PC game
Yeah.
on a tablet. And I don't think they got enough credit for that. Like they were one of the first to actually put something that I didn't really feel like I needed to play a MOBA on PC because I played Vainglory and it was deep enough, had enough depth to it, had enough complexity to it to where it could be a PC game just as easily. And so I think that that there's a MOBA there. All of these battle royales are now doing it. I think we're going to start seeing more in-depth games that have a lot of story and a very vast, deep, rich world. I think you're going to start seeing that. The thing is, they just have to kind of downgrade everything to match the graphics, just because you don't want a 30 gig download on your phone.
Yeah.
So I think it'll take some time, but I think you'll start seeing those to where, all right, if you want to play something that has a ton of stuff to discover, a huge open world on your phone, you can now do it.
I would agree with you completely. So, yeah, I mean,
And there's a huge market. I mean, look at the mobile market. I mean,
everybody has a
it's another
smartphone.
untapped. It's like the China market, which all these guys are kind of catering to. That seems to be the big thing, the China market, and then the equal to that. I mean, so we're in the PC market. We're a minority. There's the consoles where you've talked about it plenty. There's a lot of consoles. Consoles are where the money's at. PCs not so much. These big titles is the reason that they can do console exclusives because there's so many people. But the same thing is China. When it comes to PCs, China's that in that market. I mean, there's just you can sell things in America, but you just don't sell the numbers. The second that you cater to China, huge numbers there. But I think phones are universal to where there's a huge untapped market. I mean, look, Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, all those, they've tapped it. But those are very basics and simple games.
Yeah.
I think there's a huge market for PC style games to be tapped.
I would agree with you completely, and I don't want to rehash that argument because we did have it last week. And if you missed last week's episode and you're interested in the talk, we talked about we did a comparison of Fortnite, PUBG Mobile, and as well talked about what we thought the future of PC game or PC to phone gaming, what we think the future that's going to be, what it is right now, so on and so forth. So that's episode 166 of Infection. I'd highly recommend that one. I thought it was one of our a very good show that we had. A lot of good discussion, stuff like that. So, real quick here, Brian. I know we got some news we're going to get into, but I like to open the shows, and we just kind of did, but I still want to talk about this. You mentioned the new Far Cry, and there's already some debate, some conversation about another game with microtransactions.
Yes.
I've made my stance very clear.
I ran across this last night.
Let's hear.
I was kind of surprised.
Let's hear.
I didn't hear you didn't hear anything coming up to it, and there was no reason to expect it. But when you go in there, there's a place where you can buy. They're calling them silver bars.
Yeah.
And I mean, these are silver bars where you're buying packs that can cost you what, $50. $50 is the largest one, down to like $5 or $10 for the smaller ones. And these just allow you to get bars that you can buy guns and you can buy equipment in game that normally you would grind for. Normally you would do quests, you would do missions to be able to unlock these and through the game kind of just progress and get the better equipment. But they have it to where you can pretty much buy that instantly, and that allows you to have the top guns in the game, equipment. You can buy boats and airplanes and just all kinds of things with this money. And it's just, I think the discussion that people are having is, I paid $60 personally. I paid what, $89 because I got the gold edition, $89. Yeah. And why are there now silver bars that you can buy and unlock equipment inside of here? And why, if that's the case, why am I not just getting it? I paid $89. Why do what you expect me then to pay another $50 to unlock gear? And it's not that they expect, but what's the point of even having that in there?
Well, I mean, I'll make the comparison to Grand Theft Auto. I mean, it's the from what you've described and from what I've looked at, it's the same system. It's no different than a shark card. You're buying a virtual currency. From all of the research that I've done, which isn't a lot, but from the research that I've done, there is no loot crates. There's no like lottery purchase something and you like randomly get something.
Purchases.
It seems like it's straight up purchasing, which is not something that is uncommon with $60 titles. EA does it, Rockstar does it, Ubisoft does it, Activision does it. This is a very common business practice. So I'm not really sure where the outrage is coming from. Yes, you did purchase the $60 game, but it's no different than any other game. Like it's like Grand Theft Auto 5.
I think it's just taking away from the experience that the person that's buying that. It's not hurting anyone else. There's multiplayer, but it's not that you're competing against each other. And so I think that the issue here is you're just taking away, like, I think it takes away from the story. It takes away from the progression.
But again,
I mean, I understand that they want to make some more money.
Yeah, but I'm going to play devil's advocate.
I mean, if someone wants to ruin their experience, I guess that's fine.
That's my point. I mean, who are you to say how I can or can't play the game? And I mean, and I've made this argument 1,000 times. I'll continue to make it. Activision, Ubisoft, EA, Rockstar, anybody is stupid to not have an option available if people want to pay for additional things. And in this case, you're not paying for any additional items whatsoever. You're simply buying virtual currency, which has been a standard practice in games for 10 years now. You've been able to buy take real dollars, real green money and convert this into something virtually in a video game. This is not uncommon. Looking over it, it doesn't seem like it's a big deal to me. This isn't a bet. This isn't.
You can earn money pretty quickly in game too. I mean, the thing is that what you're buying, like you could play for an hour and you'll get at least 7,000 credits, which then will buy you a gun, will buy you a nice item, or you can go and spend some money and not play. I guess it's for people that just want to start out with a really nice gun. But the thing is you could play for 4 hours. And you can have all that anyways.
Now, what I will say is we talked about Battlefront 2 a couple of months ago in their controversy. Now, the issue that they had is they had a very similar system where you buy credits. The problem was it was impossible to actually earn enough credits in-game to purchase all of the items. I don't remember. There was a calculation done on the amount of playtime. It was tens of thousands of play hours to earn these I don't remember what it was.
Well,
whatever the
virtual
virtual
currency find was. In game, you can find these silver bars as well.
That's the whole point. Is there?
So it's not purely just a purchase.
This is I haven't played the game, but from all of the information, this is completely identical to GTA 5's shark card concept. You can get real money in GTA by doing missions, robbing people, selling things, anything you want. You can get real. You can get money. It's you can get it in game. Now, if you want to, you can go and you can go to a GameStop and purchase a shark card. Take your real money and turn it into fake money. So this seems no different than that. Which, if that's the case, there's no. I mean, I don't see any issue with this. This is what major publishers have been doing for 10 years. So what's the problem?
Now, as long as there's nothing in this game that you can't get with regular. So that's the thing, is if you can buy everything with the general currency that's in game, or if they can allow you to get enough silver bars, that's the thing you were talking about. If you can't possibly get enough silver bars in game to be able to purchase certain items, maybe some crazy looking outfit, then I have an issue with it. If they force you to look a certain way when you paid $60 for the game, to be able to look a certain way without buying silver from the store, then that's where I don't agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it, and the microtransactions are just a small silver bar pack, which is $5 for 500 credits, all the way up to the XXL silver bar pack, which is 7,250 credits for $45 US. So this, I mean, I just don't see an issue here. This is just directly converting real money into virtual money to use at your own disposal.
Yeah.
So it doesn't hurt, and that's the, you know, when we have this conversation, and I know people don't like to talk about it, but when we have this conversation, my question always is, how does this affect other people? And in this case, the same case it is with GTA, it doesn't really. If I want to grind away at GTA, I can have enough money to buy a plane or whatever. But guess what? If I just want to throw down $20, I can purchase it instantly. It's my choice. Neither of them are unobtainable. It's how I choose to play the game. And in my opinion, nobody's got any right to tell me how the hell I do or don't play the game. And if I want to spend $45 to purchase 7,000 credits, let me purchase it. I mean, shit, if I want to drop $300 on credits, let me. What's the big deal? It's not affecting anybody else's gameplay. I'm screwing myself out of my own $60 because now there's no point of playing any of the story. So I just don't see a problem with it.
Well, and it's like on Far Cry, like what's the point of really playing if you're not going to go through the story? I mean, I just don't know why you go through and play a game that's kind of a single player game anyways, if the whole point is not just going through the story and discovering the world and unlocking everything. I don't know. I think that if it doesn't affect anyone else, you know, you can let people be as stupid as they want to be. And I think this has a minimal effect on anyone else. Well, you can do co-op. That's with friends. It's not against other people. So I guess if you want to show off for your couple friends that maybe play with you, that would be the main reason to do it. Say, look at the gun I have.
Here's the thing. We are in the
golden shovel I have.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, here's the thing. We are in the age of microtransactions. They're going to exist because people are willing to pay. So the conversation now is not just bitch and complain every time a game has one. It's pick and choose your fights. Find the games like this one, like GTA, that, in my opinion, do it in the most minimal way possible where it doesn't affect the most amount of players. Don't attack these people. Go after the people like EA who did, you know, with the asinine stuff that they did with Battlefront 2. That's what you need to go after. Yeah. You complaining on Reddit is not stopping these companies from doing this, because they make money off it. So pick and choose your battles. Find the companies that are abusing the system and call them out, and stop bitching about every game that offers somebody like me or Brian to purchase something if we want to. It doesn't affect gameplay. For other people, it's strictly how you choose to play your game.
Well, and I'm of the mindset. I mean, if someone wants to have a cheat for a single player game, like, don't ban that. You know, let them do whatever. You know, I've seen ones where they go and ban. They'll do Steam bans, and it's pretty much a single player game. It's like, well, what's the point? You know, if it's not multiplayer, let people ruin their own experience. I think this question only comes up when the second that it crosses over into playing against other people and affecting someone else's gameplay, which we've run into quite a bit because we play those games.
And we've called out, and we've called them out every single time. So there's no, you know, apologists here and, oh, look at, oh, they love microtransactions. I could care. Brian wants to go ahead and piss away $50 a pop to buy things in game. That's his prerogative. He should be able to do it, and the publisher should allow him to do that, because that's $50 that they did not previously have. It just doesn't affect me. So I mean, that's my thought on it.
I mean, these companies, they just need to, if I don't know, I just would prefer that they didn't work this into their budget of, for us to be profitable, we have to sell this many microtransactions. You know, they need to make a game that's reasonable, that they're going to sell enough copies to be able to make this money, and then that's just icing on the cake at that point. But I'm assuming someone made a joke, you know, about them operating at a loss, or they're making the game at a loss, and I don't think they are. But you know, all these companies act like they have to have these now, and everybody's doing them, and so I don't know. We thought it was maybe going to go away with all the outrage with EA, but it seems to have, they've come back with it. You know, just maybe it's not as bad, but I don't think we're going to get rid of these anytime soon. I think it's just a part of the market now.
It is. It's part of the market. It will be part of the market until something comes in and gets rid of it. You just have to find the games that do a when I say good job, I'm not meaning that it's personally, I'm not a fan of them. But when I say good job, I mean the least intrusive way of putting these systems into the game. And I haven't played the game, not an expert in the game.
Without going to that screen, I wouldn't have noticed them. I mean, that's the thing is,
there you go.
It's nowhere else. It's just, it said, I saw a little symbol next to as an altar. It was like this. You want to buy them with this or with this? And then I went to another screen and I saw, okay, here's silver bars you can buy. And that's the only thing in game that even hints at the silver bars existing. So they've done a minimal job of putting it in your face, like some other ones where they're just constantly throwing at you. You know, get this special. Here's a 3-hour special. Buy this. And that drives me crazy when I own the game. Quit throwing ads in my face.
And that pisses me off beyond belief. So I would say that the Ubisoft people here have done the best with the best of a bad situation, in my opinion. They've done it. So I'll give them that. And if something changes, which it very well could, then we'll have another conversation. But for right now, there's no reason, in my opinion, to be outraged about this, because this is a pretty common thing. Yep.
All right. So do we want to discuss a little bit of PUBG?
Sure. We've got something that they're doing, which it's clear now to me. Should be clear down to everybody that Fortnite has put the pedal to the metal, Epic, and they are constantly doing limited time events. They're actually in the middle. I think they're still in the middle of their Blitz mode right now, which I had an opportunity to play. I don't know that to be certain, because they literally do events for a week and then the event is gone. So they did their Blitz events, they did their 20v20, and now PUBG has got to follow suit and do something similar. So what they're announcing is PUBG Event Mode. And they say that you can think of the event mode as a periodically changing preset custom game where they'll be trying new things out, different game parameters. Very similar to what Fortnite is doing with their random modes. H1Z1 had a couple of, for this weekend, there's going to be a mode where it's, only shotguns or something like that. They did these kind of things. So the first iteration of the event mode will be a simple one. They say that it will allow you to play up to an 8-player team. So you'll jump in with 7 of your friends, and then the rifle drop rate will be doubled. So you have teams of 8, double the amount of rifles as before, and that's going to be their first event mode. The rationale behind this is they literally admit that they just threw this together, because they just recently
they found that just throwing something together worked for Fortnite.
That was
a game mode that they just threw together.
I mean, literally
so
here,
it's worth trying some stuff. Throw it against the wall, see what sticks.
I mean, it literally says here, using the event mode, players will be able to. The first iteration of the event mode will be a very simple one, as the system was only recently put together, and we need to test the basics first. So I'm saying, just in terms of having like custom game modes like this, Fortnite did it, and they said, okay, they're eating our lunch. We've got to do something. We've got to follow suit. And this is how the free market works. This is how. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how competition works. If you ever doubt yourself, oh, competition doesn't work. If you listen to this podcast, you are seeing it with Fortnite and PUBG. They are in direct competition for 4, 5, 6 million active players. They're in direct competition, and it's just this back and forth push and shove match. And we'll see who's victorious. They're both riding the train high right now, but sooner rather than later, somebody will be the victor in it. So the new mode is 8 players, double the rate, and they don't announce when they're doing this. They just said I think it will be out soon, and then they show a screenshot here. So the match, you'd click event, and your squad, and you select your settings, and that's about it. It will be unranked, but you will receive battle points at the end of it. And then they are talking about a new item into the game, something that I don't really know how much use it's going to have, but your typical orange flare gun. This will be in the game, again, with Fortnite adding weapons. I think they add weapons or items once or twice a week, which is, again, turning up the heat a little bit on PUBG. So they have to follow some type of suit, and we'll see. But no, we've got this flare gun. I don't know what the point of this will be.
I get maybe alert your friends.
I just don't
where you're at. I don't
just
know.
not
I don't know why you
practical.
would.
I mean, I could see. Yeah, my initial reaction was, "Oh, to alert your friends," but then you're
But
VoIP.
they'd have to change something with the map. I mean, I don't know what.
You're VoIPed with it anyway. You're talking with your friends. You have a map. You can see their markers on the map. So there's there's really no point.
I wonder if this is going to be a weapon that you shoot somebody and it, like they've got a flare stuck in them for a while to where everybody sees them.
You know, I could see if this was.
Oh, okay. So Judd says it was calling airdrops.
Oh,
so you could call an airdrop with the flare gun. Now they don't give any hint at that, but
that's unfortunate. Okay, well, thanks for that, Judd. It's only for the event to call airdrops. Okay, perfect. I wish they would say that. There is no indication of that at all. Must have been on Twitter. So there you go, calling airdrop, which makes sense because having it for anything else is useless.
Yeah.
There's too many guns in the game anyway for a flare gun to be a useful weapon. So that's the event mode with PUBG. We do have an update as well. This is
the update number 8 for PC.
Yes, PC update number 8. This actually came out today, and there's some things in here as well. Talking about network stability. That's the big issue in any game that's 100 players, 200 players, even 50 players. Networking. Now, they say something very interesting in here that H1Z1 needs to take if they plan on continuing to develop their game, they need to take this out of their out of PUBG's book. So I'm going to read this here. It says, one of the solutions we are considering is operating servers so that only those players that reside in that region can connect and play. The servers will be made invisible to players residing in other regions. But at the same time, and this is the key here, but at the same time, if a player in an exclusive server region forms a team with players from another region, they can connect to and play on any of the servers available to either of them. That's the key, and that's what H1Z1 doesn't do, which makes it a real pain in the ass for us to try to play with Joe, who is in Australia, because the ping is weird, so we all have to play on either the European or actually we play on the Asian servers.
We tried West Coast, and it's still like we would go as far west as we could until we could connect, and it still was iffy at that. So I think this is a much better way. This was our big complaint, as you said, with H1Z1, that these guys are actually tackling in the correct way.
Yes, and now they say one of the solutions they're considering is this. They haven't done this, but this theoretically is a very good solution to the problem, which we've talked about in the past. Is or a server set where it's completely ping unrestricted.
You can have a world server. I mean, you could treat it as a world server to where anyone can connect to that one. Maybe you'll have higher ping rates.
And that was the solution.
But that going in.
That's a very easy solution to this. They've got this is a pretty complex way of doing it, which would be a much better result because it doesn't allow you to screw around with joining on the regions and such. You join the region that you're in. If you invite a friend, it doesn't matter. The game will figure out what it wants to do. So they're going on with that, talking about how they're improving network and stability and stuff like that. So and they want feedback on their official forum. There'll be a link in the show notes on infectionpodcast.com. Also with this is a new system, and this is for skinning your firearms. And if this image will let me zoom out, there it is. Here is the new system. So players can now select skins for each weapon with the weapon skin UI. So each weapon is arranged in alphabetical order. The weapons can be categorized as following. They can be categorized as acquired, equipped, or the tier. So those are your 3 different sorting options.
Your filters.
Your filters would be the better word. And you can check the details about the weapon using the View More button. And you can use it says you can use weapon selection in the customization menu to equip the skin of your choice, so where you'd customize your character. And it says the ways that you acquire skins, and that is skins you have through paid crates, or the weekly random crate, or the Raider crate, which they've got a new crate in here, and I can pull some of these images up.
Now they do have a hint here that they're going to be having full wardrobes, so you'll be able to, it looks like, get a wardrobe that has a specific look. I wonder if you can, I mean, do you set those wardrobes, or is it something that you can, do you get a drop of an actual wardrobe out of a crate? That's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if you can set up, okay, here's an outfit that I consider a wardrobe. You know, it's a preset.
I would assume that's what it is. You set up and then you can quickly hop between, like in wardrobes. Yeah, and I think I'm not sure what other game I'm thinking of, but a game where you set up your look and then you can just kind of like a mouse or a keyboard profile.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and do that. Now, they do have a new crate in here. So this is a paid crate. It comes with 100,000 battle points. This doesn't. I was reading through this earlier. I don't understand their layout of this. It doesn't really make any sense. 20. I think there's 20 weapon. I think you get 20 weapon skin keys. It doesn't really tell you what you're
20
getting.
20 early bird keys, 10 triumph crates to all test accounts to test the stability of the system. So these are all things that they're actually throwing into the test
thing, but then,
server, so that you can unlock a whole bunch of stuff so they can test their system.
Now, but in the same
sense, they're saying, but that's only on the test server though.
No, I got that.
You'll get those free things on that.
I got that. But then if we moving on with this, so then there's the new paid crate, which is a weekly
Triumph,
which is a weekly random crate with a drop rate of 20%. It can be unlocked using a weapon skin key, which you can purchase through the Steam Market. So, what are the? What I was confused with is, do you buy them with battle points? Because it says they drop. But what's the point of 100,000 battle points? What's the relevance? What's the correlation?
You can unlock. Yeah, I don't. You probably can't unlock that crate. You can probably just unlock the Raider crate, because those are the ones that you unlock. You don't need a key for. So I'm wondering if you can just get the Raider crates with these battle points, because that's what you've been buying up to this point. They've had a couple that you can buy with battle points.
Yeah, exactly.
And then these ones are ones that you get in game, and then you can buy these keys for them. And they have much better drop rates. I mean, if you look, there's fewer items in here, and they have realistic drop rates. So like the Survivor is 10%. So these are the drop rates of the crates. So there's a 10% chance of Survivor, 10% chance of Wanderer, 20% chance of Biker, 10% chance of Desperado, 20% for Militia, 10% Fever, and then 20% Triumph. So there's a pretty good chance that even like with this new one, it's not like a 1% chance that you're even going to get the crate. They're pretty evenly distributed. And then it says they have the new Raider crate, which is the free crate that you can get with 100% drop rate. You don't need a key to unlock that. And those are the ones that there's a million things in it, and some things are 0.0064% chance of getting a gold-plated S686.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a big difference between the free crate
and the paid one
versus the paid one.
Yeah.
Now they do have like the Glory AKM. That's a 0.16%. So less than 20% of 1%.
Yeah. And my question was, no, I know you can buy unlock crates with the BP, but that's what they mentioned. They were giving the test server 100,000 points, and I couldn't figure out what the correlation between that was. I think
they're trying to get, because they have that whole new skin system. I think they just want people to load up on skins to play with it.
Okay.
So they're just giving them every way possible to get all these skins in there.
So if you want, if you get into the test server, I believe today, this update did come out today. So if you jump into the test server, you should have all of those perks that we talked about on your account, and you can screw around and unlock and buy things. And as well as a couple of bug fixes on this update. Fixed an issue where the refresh button on the friends list would take you to the team tab when players are in a team, and then fixed an issue when players leave the vehicle and the vehicle is positioned right next to the window of a building. Players would go into the building through the windows when getting out of the vehicle. I wish I would have known about that. That's a very cool bug. Very convenient. And then the final thing here is fixed an issue during server instability when exiting a slow-moving vehicle. The player would be treated if they were hit by their own vehicle, which of course is no good. So you can you can go ahead and hopefully jump on the test server and check some of this stuff out. More PUBG news. This was all over Twitter this week. People were talking about it. Obviously, it's up at that March 1 year anniversary of PUBG, and about a year ago, I think it'll be a year next. No, it would have been actually probably about a year right now. We were at PAX East interviewing Brandon right as the game was launching. They launched it at PAX, and there was a massive server issue, which didn't affect us because we weren't playing anyway. But I remember,
we didn't have access to our computers to play.
I remember on Discord, people were really pissed off about it. If you remember back, before March of last year, we had gotten something like 60 or 70 early access keys to the game before it was even out. Brandon gave us a whole bunch of keys very, very early on. So we had access to play, and we played, and then it came out it came out in conjunction with PAX East last year. So we're now at that 1 year mark, and the date was March 23rd. March 23rd of 2017 was the day that they launched on Steam Early Access. With that, they are releasing a new skin, or they're giving everybody a skin, which is a yellow and black skin for the Scar with the number 1 on the side of it, and it's also engraved with winner chicken dinner. So everybody gets this. It's like it's given to everybody that has the game. So you can log into your account and you can get this. It's not tradable or destructible. So you go ahead and log in.
Very good. And that'll probably, that'll be implemented with that new skin system, I'm sure. Oh, so that's that'll be implemented.
But you've got till May 1st to do it. So you've got over a month to do it, but log in between now and May 1st, get your free skin, and then you can screw around with it in your new customization tab, which is cool. So, 1 year anniversary of PUBG. I would say pretty successful 1 year, peaking at somewhere 3.6 or 3.7 million concurrent players. I'd say a pretty successful year, and I would imagine many more years to come with this game. There's no indication that it's ramping down. So, yes, that's good stuff to hear from
our. Final thing with PUBG is they put out a notification saying that if you would like to apply for what they're calling their influencer program, which is pretty much partnered, they have a program where you can become a partnered PUBG player if you put out content about PUBG at least twice a month. So the thing that they want to have to be able to consider you is having pre-recorded video content, 50,000 subscribers, and PUBG content twice every month, or live stream with 150 concurrent and PUBG content 3 times every month. And then you'll just have an official thing that says you're partnered with PUBG. So
now the whole concept with this is they have their actual partner program. This is the influencer program. And the goal with this is they give you 30 days. And the whole concept of this is for smaller communities, smaller groups, something like our group, except we're not going to sign up for this because I don't think we have anything to bring to the table. But their whole concept is they give you 30 days, allowing you to demonstrate your creativity with your community and or gaming guild. And if they like you, if they like it, you'll be reviewed and they'll allow you into the PUBG partner program. It's kind of like the Twitch affiliate thing where you start off on the affiliate. If if you do well, you get bumped up to the next thing, and then from that you get to a full partnership status. So they've got some guidelines on here that it's recommended requirements. It's not things you have to have, but if you've got some really cool ideas for game modes, you now have a way to do this. And then there's a link in the show notes for that, infectionpodcast.com, for all the different application forms in English, Portuguese, or Spanish. You can do a whole bunch of, you can apply in a couple different languages if you want. But the whole concept is you've got to have something worth doing, or your 30 days will go, and then they will say, we're not interested.
Yeah. Very good. So that's pretty much it for PUBG. Let's go and move on to ARC.
Do you want to
And
do the giveaway before Arc, or do you just want to do one giveaway again?
no, we can go ahead and do that. So,
Okay.
all right. So let me get the raffle here started. So this will be a 60-point raffle. Exclamation point giveaway will be the keyword. So in chat, you can do that. And we can be giving away a copy of Worm Unlimited, and this is actually a $30 title. So if you want to enter for that, this is a open world sandbox RPG crafting building game. So there is a link to the Steam page if you want to check it out. It has very positive ratings. As I said, a $30 title, and we'll give that away here in about 10 minutes.
Absolutely. And of course, you could support the program a couple of different ways if you'd like to do so. You can head on over to our website, infectionpodcast.com/support. You can bookmark or use our Amazon affiliate links. And if you're in a couple of those countries listed, and when you buy stuff with Amazon, we get a small little kickback from that. You can do a direct donation through PayPal, as well as our Humble Bundle link. And also, you can now subscribe to our channel through the Twitch affiliate program. We've had our partnership for about a month now, so our affiliate thing. So if it's been about a month. So check your Twitch thing and see if you can resubscribe with your Amazon Prime affiliate. And if you wouldn't mind, we'd love to have your affiliate here on this channel. Help support the program, and we have some really cool stuff to announce here in the next couple of weeks. And we look forward to having the Twitch affiliate be an integral part of some of the stuff we're working on. So we do all of that, infectionpodcast.com/support. And we thank everybody, all 19 of you that are currently subscribed to the show here, the channel here on Twitch. All right.
Thank you very much.
Sorry I cut you off there. But...
No, you're fine. So the place I usually get the notes is down, but I'm going to read them from a different place. So if you go, by the time we get to our... by the time we get to where people are looking at the show notes, it should be up and just fine.
Oh, I see this.
But I'm going to go ahead and read these. So 279.224, they temporarily allowed building inside of the Ragnarok puzzle cave to allow players to evacuate the area. So I guess they wanted it in case people had dinosaurs or something there. Anyways, they allowed it so you could build things to be able to move out any creatures left in there. And then 27th of March, they will be disabling building to make use of the time. And I think it was, people were able to build in there. People put things in there that they can't get out without building. And then, they turn that off so that there will be no building in that cave. Fixed an issue that caused the player to be ejected from the saddle when using Raptor Pounce. They fixed a bug that made the most chops rideable. And then they fixed an issue that caused pre-patch Argents to lack ability to craft their saddle. And then they fixed a looping of the Spino-Torpor animation. 279.225, they added support for the Arc Park Dino export feature, which we'll be talking about here in just a few minutes. And then 279.233, this is starting the Easter event. It's not on officials yet, but they added it into this patch to where if you're running a private server, you have the ability to go in there and turn that on. You can turn on the Easter mode. And then they fixed some exploit for bases that people were doing. Raptor pack buff now lasts for 45 seconds. They added a global ban list. So if you want to have access to the ban list that they use on their official servers, they have a place there so you can activate that for your private servers.
Ouch.
Fix the Raptor basic attack audio. Fix aberrant trike colorization. Sarcos can now hurt target on roll even if they can't carry it. Fix for crash when equipping empty folder. Updated Argent claw grab back to original weight restrictions. Fix for force flee from Parasaur. Fix for Parasaur not attacking targets when ordered to. Raptor can no longer pounce very small things like insects. Fix for trike getting stuck charging. Players can no longer build in the puzzle cave of Ragnarok, which, the last patch they were saying, get your stuff out. We're going to lock it. And now it's actually locked. And fixed a bug where Spino hydration buff would time out unexpectedly. Pin target no longer stays down if Raptor is killed. Remove pounces when being carried, and fix for Argent grabbing through walls. So that's the current patches. And then they did an announcement here this past week, and it's something that was seen, but just some videos and some hints at it. But they released Arc Park, which is a VR experience for Arc, and that was something that if you have a VR headset, it works with the Vive. It works with trying to see it works with the I know the Vive and the Oculus Rift.
Those are
and
the
then
two main
Windows
ones.
mixed reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can do some sort of a Windows mixed reality on there as well. But this is it says engage in close encounters with primal species through series of theme park attractions. Enter by yourself or with a group of adventurous friends and witness dinosaurs roaming in the wild with your own eyes. So this is one where you can buy the base game for $39.99. Of course, you can buy the game with cosmetic outfits ×2 and dino skins ×1. So for $47.99. So they're in there as well. I mean, it looks pretty cool. As I said at the beginning of the show, if it gives you a headache and you can't do VR for very long, we'll see if this really has kind of a life to it. But this is kind of what I was thinking originally. I don't know if you remember when I was saying
I remember
when they released the first time.
Yeah.
This is what I was expecting them to make the real game. Something like this, where there's actually a story to it. There's something that happens. You're going into a scene, and then, this is just one of the worlds is the island. But they didn't do that. And this is the VR, which I think it would have been really cool to have this as the real game and then also release it as a VR game as well. So, oh well. But this is Arc Park. Another one that they did this week is PixArc.
Oh yeah, baby.
So if you're looking for a pixel-based style of Arc, and this is, not there are other things. It's not a perfect duplication of the regular Arc game. It says enter a world of mystery, danger, ancient dinosaurs, mythical beasts, and cubes. Work by yourself or with a tribe of others to gather materials, craft useful items, tame wild creatures, and build huge bases to survive in PixArc. And this has, it looks pretty interesting. This would be a perfect mobile game.
Yes,
right?
It would be. Hello. Yes, wake up. This is it.
So this is the thing where they're releasing the mobile, but like this would be a really good mobile game. And I don't know why they're not kind of tackling that, because obviously they can run it. But yeah, this it's very Minecrafty. Like if you look at the way they even treat the world, it looks very much like Minecraft,
Yeah,
but
building.
with, I think, a lot more depth as far as the story and what you're doing.
Well, it looks like you can still tame dinosaurs and stuff, it appears.
Yeah, you can tame dinosaurs, build bases. They got some different creatures like pandas and things like that that you don't have. So there are some creatures in this one, and you can be a wizard. It's not a direct correlation to the regular Arc game. It's kind of an expanded world.
Godif is spot on. It looks for anybody that's ever played Cube World. I played that for a little while. It looks just like Cube World. Very, very similar art style to Cube World. It's not Minecrafty, and Minecraft is.
Well, when you look at the still shot, when you scroll down to the bottom of the Steam page, look at the very bottom.
Yeah,
the animated image. That's the
that looks like Minecraft. But in terms of everything is not actually a block. There's things that are not blocks, and that's what makes it that exactly. And that's what makes it more look like Cube World than Minecraft. Literally everything is a block. The trees, everything is a block. So yeah, if this is available. These are not free, by the way. There's a special promotion for PixArc until April 3rd, so you've got till after Easter, and you can get that for $20 now. If not, it'll be $25. And then the same thing with the VR game, Arc Park. It's not free either. It's $40 for the base game, or you can get the Tech Edition, which comes with 2 cosmetic outfits and 1 dino skin. Obviously, if you're already in $700 on a Vive or an Oculus, I guess
you're looking for a game to play.
You're looking for a game to play. That's kind of what you should do. But But yeah, there you go. So Arc Park and Pixark. Is that what? Yeah, Pixark. Yeah. So there you go. Check it out if you're into that stuff.
Yep. All right, and let's move on to H1Z1.
Oh,
and
yes.
here this is the actual H1Z1, not just Survive. They came out with a patch on the 22nd, and they added onto Auto Royale a guided rocket launcher, a duos version, and more. So if you're hoping that there would be rocket launchers that you can fly around in there, your wishes are answered. So they said there was some logic behind the scenes that would allow players to get into games that were close to starting, which caused numerous issues, including those players parachuting in before others and then encountering bugs as the inability to shoot or interact with objects in the world. So this scenario should no longer occur, and players will instead be put into the next lobby. So I guess looks like people that were put in at the last second didn't spawn in correctly, then they somehow were able to go in before everyone else, but they couldn't do anything. Another one was mouse cursor will no longer occasionally get stuck on screen after opening and closing UI elements on the map. Fix a bug that caused host games per week allowance to not properly reset. The black and gray jacket now can be skinned normally. So I don't know if you remember before, they had some skins that you did not have the ability to reskin. So it'd be like a shirt and you couldn't skin it to look like something else. For the duos, they're now available to where you can just hop in with a friend or have a random join you. You decide who's driving, and then the other person gets to shoot. So of course you can't have a single player unless you're just ramming cars into each other. So this allows one other player to shoot and then one to drive. Weapon damage and loot distribution has been rebalanced for only having one shooter per vehicle instead of 3. So it cuts down on the amount of damage you have to do to be able to blow up a vehicle. Weapons do more damage to other vehicles and loot crates. Players can equip more than one heavy weapon, so like a crossbow, LMG. Weapon pickups supply one weapon and half the ammo. So they said they added the guided rocket launcher, which is the LGIR, and that can be found in the rare purple or ultra rare gold pickups. So you just see the colors of the containers there when you're shooting them. You can possibly pick it up in one of those two. They can be guided while in flight by aiming down sights, firing the weapon, and then moving your reticle. So stay ADS to continue guiding the rocket. Rockets do high explosive damage and cause disruption similar to landmines. And the weapon has a long reload time and spawns with just 5 rockets. So they say use them wisely. They removed a number of different small objects from the world that vehicles get stuck on, or places that you had a hard time navigating through. Also remove the sapling trees that would stop vehicles. Skill jump pickups now appear with a star icon instead of a weapon or supply icon, and give both weapon and supply loot in a single pickup. And then weapons tuning, they decrease the aiming time of landmines from 2 seconds to 3/4 of a second. They decrease the crossbow damage by 15%. The sniper rifle damage against players is significantly increased, but remains the same on the vehicles. Headshots now have a 1-shot incapacitate. Body shots have a 2-shot incapacitate for passengers leaning out of the vehicles, and 3 shots for players inside of the vehicle. Helmets and body armor now provide less protection against sniper shots, but still offer a level of protection. And then the added event challenge through 10 p.m. on the 26th. So that was through yesterday, where you could, if you completed 3 games in the Auto Royale, you would receive the red ARV skin. So hopefully some of you participated in that. And then here's a known issue. In the Auto Royale duos, using Control plus the number to switch seats will also use the corresponding item in your hotbar. So if you hit Control 1, it'll use the number 1 thing in your hotbar. So while this isn't an issue for weapons, consumables such as oil slicks, landmines, and springs will be used when doing this if they're in that corresponding spot. So be careful when you're doing that. You don't want to waste your equipment. All right, and then we'll move on to Just Survive, since it's kind of H1Z1. This is a pretty big list of change.
Yeah,
it's a pretty big list of changes.
The big thing in here is that we talked about them with experimental server sets. For some reason, they're still trying to do things. So there's a list here for the EU and the US of what the different server names are and their rule set. So if you're interested in that, go check them out. Yeah, this is just a big dump of notes. There's some base permission issues. Doors, gates, and shutters now count towards the architecture limit, which is the amount the bases are limited by a number. It's an architecture limit, so they call it. You can only place a certain number of things on
number of objects.
Certain number of objects, exactly. Thank you. So the architecture limit per foundation used to be 500. It's now 450. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. I mean, honest to God, Brian, I don't think people care, and
I'm wondering why they're still working on it.
And that was my point. Is like people don't care. People aren't playing the game, and I don't care. Like, I mean, scrolling through this, it's like I don't get it.
I don't know. Like, you figured that I was assuming that kind of in the background. I mean, with all the people leaving Daybreak, like, why would you have people leaving your currently semi-successful title and then still keep people on your truly dead title? Like, this Just Survive is as dead as you can get. I mean, I don't know how you could get any deader than this game is currently. I don't know. I wonder how many people do they have on the team still? And I mean, I don't. Do you have a guess on when they will fold?
I don't.
Do you think they will?
You know, I think they will, but I mean, honestly, Brian, I can't put a number on it because I look at an update like this. I mean, they removed a whole bunch of items. They added a whole bunch of not new items, but they're changing things. They're doing like they're doing stupid things. And when I say stupid, I don't mean stupid in the sense of they're stupid changes, but stupid in the sense of that they're irrelevant. For example, dirty water can now be purified directly rather than having an intermediate water recipe. That is so last minute thing to change. Why are they doing this stuff now? You know, I don't get it. And PH is bringing up that they still do PlanetSide 2 live streams every week, but PlanetSide 2 has a decent player base. There's still people playing that game. We've been discussing these numbers, and we'll do them again tonight with current players. Nobody is playing H1Z1.
Yes.
Now, you can make the argument that the player limit is small for PlanetSide 2, and I may agree with you, but there's still a player base. People are still enjoying playing that game. There's no way it's smaller than the H1Z1. No, not a chance. There's more than 1,000 people playing PlanetSide 2 at any given time. There has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is I don't know why they're continuing, because the game, I mean, it's really made zero improvements now. I mean, they started undoing all the cool stuff that they did, and they're going back to more the original. So like they just made no progress in so long, and this isn't progress. I mean, just changing your spawns to making sure some things don't spawn. They removed some spawns altogether, so like you can't get aspirin anymore, you can't get a lighter. You know, they have some things that don't spawn, but you can craft them still. Remove 4 types of sleepers, so like the sleeping bags, right? Yeah. They remove 4 types of the military backpack. Like, why are they removing these things? There's no explanation. First of all, they're just removing variations from the game, and I just don't get the point. Like, why would you be taking away stuff that you've already made? The models are there. Why would you remove variations of the military backpack? It's just really strange. Just like a waste of time. Like someone's just going in there and clicking and changing stuff.
And see, and that's what's so frustrating to me, because there is this is stuff that does not need to be played with at all. There's just no point. I found this odd website that is showing me some PlanetSide 2 stats based on world. The Emerald World that I'm looking at right now. I don't know if this information is. Oh no, it is. It says March 28th, UTC. There is 400 players per color team: red, blue, and purple on the world Emerald right now. Just that one world.
Just that one server.
And as I scroll through, this other world's got about 200 people per team. So there's a couple. There's I don't know.
So it says 15 minutes ago there was 1,753 people playing PlanetSide 2.
Where did you find that?
Steam charts.
Yeah, but you don't download it on Steam.
Well, you can't. I mean, you can launch it from Steam. Then they have their separate launcher. So that's at least people that are launching it from Steam.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I don't know. There's this weird. What was your number? 1,700.
There's PlanetSide 1,753. Today there was a peak of 2,392.
Okay. So,
but the thing is there's also PS4 PlanetSide 2, right?
Yeah.
Don't they have a
PS4
version?
They do. It's on PlayStation, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how accurate. I just posted this website in chat, ps2.fisu.pw. You can go through and click on the individual worlds, and it'll show you.
But that's the thing, is it also has a standalone client. So
like
you're not required to launch it through PlanetSide.
My copy of PlanetSide 2 is not on Steam. I have just the regular launcher. Like unlike H1Z1, which you can't play without Steam, PlanetSide 2 does not require you to use Steam. That's why I made that.
But that's at least on Steam. I mean, that gives you an idea. There's at least that many people playing.
There's 14. There's 1,100 people on the World Emerald right now. So I mean, nevertheless, I don't know why we're having this conversation, but there's more people that play PlanetSide 2 than play H1Z1 currently. So I can see why they still keep the community kind of alive with those streams or whatever. But honestly, God, I have no idea why they're still screwing around with H1Z1 Just Survive.
Yeah. Well, I was waiting for them to announce.
Case in point,
that they're closing down that team.
There are currently 500.
It's not a standalone title. It can't hold up on its own right now. Like if you it's not like these other games where they're kind of done and you can just have them continue. Like it's nowhere near done.
There are less than 600 people playing H1Z1 right now.
Yeah. Or you mean Just Survive?
Just Survive. Yes. There are less than 600 people. So there are more people. There's half as many people playing H1Z1 that are on one world in PlanetSide 2 right now. There's like 6 worlds.
If the total player base is just if your development team is 10% of your player base, you have an issue.
Yeah. And I mean literally,
that's that's where it is.
Yeah. It's a shame, but I mean realistically, I just don't know. I don't know what the hell the point of this update is. I mean, I'll show it here on stream for the video viewers. This is the size of this patch on Reddit. I mean, what is the point? I don't get what the, like, I think, and I still do believe this, Brian, it's not the popular opinion. I still do believe that H1Z1 can be a successful title in retrospect to itself with the car mode, the car royale, with the King of the Kill. The game mode itself isn't really that bad. There's some issues that need to be worked out, but it's a very playable game mode.
It's a fairly complete game.
Yes, I still think that there's a chance for that to play well and have a decent player base. And I say decent, I don't mean anywhere near PUBG, but a decent player base.
Yeah.
I just don't see that with Just Survive. So I don't get it. I can't personally understand why they're still putting time into it. And I believe I saw a Clegg tweet earlier today saying that there's some new pictures that they're going to be releasing. I don't know if he was talking about the I don't know if he was talking about H1Z1 or Just Survive.
Probably just I never see him talk about Just Survive anymore.
Yeah, if you, I'm gonna try to scroll back. I think he retweeted somebody else's tweet. Okay, here we go. Never mind. He was talking about the Z1 remaster. So they're gonna be doing some screenshots for that soon. So that's King of the Kill. But yeah, I don't know why they're still doing Just Survive. Personally,
yep.
Maybe there's a bigger thing going on that we're not privy to. They did it with Auto Royale. Maybe they're going to do it with this, but God Almighty, I don't know. I mean, even the Reddit itself is dead. I mean, I'm on the third most, the first post has got 9 comments and it's got 4 upvotes. That's what's hot right now on this subreddit. I mean, there's 53 people online. There's only 2,600 people subscribed to the subreddit. I mean, I've got like 4 accounts subscribed to it myself. It's just, it's ridiculous. So I don't know. Disappointing.
Yeah. I think they're in a tough spot. I still think they will hit a point where they're just like, all right, let's cut this out. Like it's done. I think, I don't know what they'll do, because it's tough. It's bad PR when people paid money for the game and then you turn it off, like you end the game.
Yeah.
I would like to see them do something to help with that. I mean, for us, we split the game. I don't know how many people actually bought the game after it split. Can't imagine there were very many, but there's got to be some people that did.
There is. I mean, you can look at the player charts. I mean, it's been increasingly going up for however 2-3 years now, however long the game's been out. People still buy it. You got people getting their first gaming PCs and stuff like that.
There's got to be something that they do. Either give a refund, offer people that bought it before the split, give them a refund. I mean, honestly. All right, so that's good enough for Just Survive. If you want to see those show notes, I mean, there's a ton of pages, but it's just, as we said, it's things like removed lighters from spawning. Just, it's a bunch of silly stuff like that. So you can go ahead and check it out. Do we want to do the giveaway right now?
Yes. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
On it? All right. So do you think he's going to want it?
No, go ahead and re-roll.
All right. So we'll give it to Johnny Fine. Johnny Fine, congratulations. All right. So you have one. I will send you a link and then you can redeem your key. Hopefully you enjoy the game. We'll do another one here in probably about 30 minutes.
Yes, as we roll on with the program this evening, let's see. Fortnite. Let's got a quick Fortnite thing. A new object coming to the game, something that H1Z1 we just talked about.
Yes. A
guided missile is coming soon. This will allow remote controlled destruction from above. Something like the Javelin for any of those Modern Warfare 2 fans. Just a missile that you control through a little screen and fly around and blow stuff up with. And
I thought this was interesting. It's like everybody is just kind of doing the same thing right now. H1Z1 puts in a guided missile. These guys are putting in a guided missile. I mean, I'd be surprised if somehow PUBG doesn't work in a guided missile here soon.
It doesn't seem like a guided missile is a PUBG object.
Maybe you can use it from your vehicle, or who knows. Yeah, it doesn't fit, but I'm sure they're going to try. They're going to come up with some game mode that will allow them to be able to do that. Who knows? Maybe mode. PUBG will put in a car mode where you drive around now.
Yeah, their car mechanics are so screwy. I don't know about that, but yeah, no, it is. It's funny to see. I mean, those 3 games are all essentially basics. They're all the same thing. I mean, they're very, very similar in the concept that they're based around. Everybody, it falls into a zone. There's points of interest, and then
they're all copied from the same person.
Yeah,
H1Z1 was rented it was licensed.
Rented. Don't sell it short. It was licensed.
You know what I'm saying? It was licensed from him. And then you look at Fortnite and they said we did it because we really liked Brendan's game. And so we made something in the same feel. So like they're all done from the exact same thing. But it's just interesting that in the same week, you have H1Z1 announce their guided missile, which sounds like a kind of a wonky system the way they described. Like you don't actually see the little screen controlling it. You just have to like just press keys to have it kind of fly a little bit differently. So all they're doing is having you pressing your keys affecting the direction. Here, they're actually going to probably have a camera on it and have it be to where you're seeing the point.
Yeah, you'll probably pull a little phone out of your pocket and control it like that or something like that.
Yep. So this is something that's coming soon. People are excited about that. I saw a lot of people excited about the possibility of flying on these. So you shoot one and then someone jumps on it and then you can fly across the map on the guided missile.
Now, I will say I did not play any Fortnite this week. I did not have my itch to play Fortnite. But what I'll tell you I'm really excited about is this week I'm going to be traveling home for Easter, and that means I'll be in airports. I'll be flying, and I've got an hour layover in Charlotte's airport. And typically, what I would do during an hour layover is pull out my laptop and screw around on the internet. But now, I'm gonna I plan on playing Fortnite or PUBG Mobile during that downtime. I think it's a perfect amount of time.
It's the perfect time.
I could get 2, maybe 3 Fortnite games, and once I get to my gate and get all settled and everything like that, I think it's going to be perfect. I'm really looking forward to trying that out this week. So that'll be cool. It'll be a real test for me to see how practical is it for me to be sitting in the airport, playing this or using this to play Fortnite or PUBG. We'll see.
Yeah, and I think I played it once on a mobile connection, and it was struggling. It was having trouble connecting and everything, but that could be just where I was. I was in a car moving. So I think from an airport, even if you have good Wi-Fi, I mean, because a lot of times the airports will have good Wi-Fi. It'd be the perfect opportunity to sit down and just play. Plus, you can plug in. You don't have to worry about your battery dying while you're sitting there. I think it'll be a good experience.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that, and I will report back on that next Tuesday with how that whole experience went. What did we cover with Rust last week? I know we talked about the lore, but we didn't play the video.
So this is a new video.
I've got.
So this was one that's.
This is from.
Oh, you didn't play. You're talking about the lore one from last week?
No, well, there was two videos last week, and we didn't talk. We talked about it, but we didn't play either of the videos. The lore video is 25 minutes. That's too long.
Okay, yeah. So the one last week was the vehicles in Rust.
So I'm gonna play that then, since we didn't talk about that.
Okay.
So this is do you have it open? What's the title of the video?
So this is the official title is multiple passengers in vehicles Rust update March 16th.
All right.
Now they do have the one right after this. I don't know if you want to play that as well.
Yeah, if you could send me put that one.
It kind of has to do with the same thing though. So I think you should play the new one because they actually talk about vehicles in that one as well.
Okay, you'll have to give me a minute to get that then.
Okay, sorry, cut you off. So this one was on March 23rd. So this is one that came out this past week. Now they didn't do an update. There's no official update that this links to, but I think this is all stuff that's on the test that he's showing off that'll be rolling up into the official.
Okay.
This one's 5 minutes. This will cover some of that stuff.
Yeah,
so I think this will be more.
Grab that, then I'll play it from here. All right. This is the Rust update. This came out March 23rd. We'll roll that, and we'll be back.
Ahoy there, survivors and friends. Captain Jack Shadow here with your latest update to Sea of Thieves. Sorry, it's just the timing. I'm sure it's purely coincidental. Anyway, as you can see, work on vehicles appears to have been all plain sailing on the staging branch this month, as not only can we enjoy the pleasures of flying Chinooks and doing drive-bys with a full carload, but hold on to your rollicks because we've now also been given boats to flounder around in. They're not fully shipshape and Bristol fashion just yet, but here are your boat facts. Admins on staging can spawn them with Spawn Rowboat in the console. They can be entered with E and exited with space. There are 4 seats, with the one nearest the outboard motor being the driver's, so do be sure to get in that one if you want to move anywhere. They are fast and maneuverable and have increased buoyancy with velocity, but it is possible to get yourself into sticky situations by either flipping or beaching them. In either case, a new push mechanic has been added to enable able seamen to get back out on the high seas again. It's also possible for one to sink if someone with a shooty stick tries to turn it into an ocarina, although they can be repaired with wood and frags if you can find the currently elusive sweet spot, and they have 400 health in total. The plan is for them to spawn at lighthouses, lakes and on beaches, and there'll probably be about 15 to 20 on an average size server at any given time. You'll need to fill them with low grade to use, as despite being called rowboats, oars are not included and they will have storage in the forward compartment. Expect these to be in-game with the next update to main on April the 5th. On the subject of vehicles, something else you'll notice is that whereas passengers can do whatever they want, for health and safety reasons, drivers can no longer brandish weaponry whilst behind the wheel. We have a new map! Well, it's the same place, just a different way of visualizing it. You'll notice now that the topography is more detailed, vibrant, and there's a much clearer sense of uppy-downiness going on. In addition, there's a new focus button, which centers the map back on your position, in case you've forgotten where you are. Now, contrary to popular belief, the idea of eating horse meat doesn't give me nightmares, honestly, but although technically possible in Rust, the issue has been skirted around, with ponies up until now giving you meat by another name. Which, if you ask me, is probably a deliberate move that, just like a cheap lasagna, works on many layers. However, horse meat has now been added, and although the world model is currently the same as deer and the icon is the same as chicken, it contains slightly more calories than either, but provides a little less health. Just like IKEA meatballs. Over on Happy's Island, the terraforming continues, with certain parts of the landscape being levelled and roads going in. There's a new small monument, Outpost B3, which has lots of barrels and a small chance of spawning green crates. And Site A now has sewers, which from this shot you can see stretch from one side of the monument to the other, and there's a proper road running through it. Over on the Savas King of the Hill map, loot tables have been updated with chainsaws, fire arrows, nail guns and flamethrowers. There was also a fix for a couple of exploits with flame turrets, such as a method of baiting them without getting hurt, and another whereby they could be placed so they would shoot through walls. And there was yet another forced client and server update in an attempt to fix skins. Yay! Work's in progress now, and a new mountable AI branch is being worked on, designed to help the scientists pilot the Chinook to rad towns and drop off those delicious locked crates full of goodies. We're expecting this event to go live in the next update to main on April the 5th. There's more news on the monument puzzles I gave you a sneak peek of last week. Check this one out. It's a garage door puzzle, which will require a bit of cooperation, not to mention trust, as one player will have to open the door with the manual override wheel, whilst the other one sneaks inside. And although I don't have any more visuals yet, we'll not only be getting new oak trees, but work has also started on American beaches, and I'm informed that this will mean the return of deciduous forests. As I mentioned last week, due to a current exploit with roof blocks, these are being reworked on a separate branch, and I can now confirm how they'll work. Roofs will no longer come complete with their own side panels. Instead, you'll have to build these yourself by placing a normal wall, which in this context will fill that triangle in. If you then place a wall on top, however, the rest of it will appear. Capiche? These aren't live yet, and I can't say what other tweaks or cost adjustments there'll be, but implementation is planned for the next major update. Lastly, do you remember the modular vehicle models that we were shown a few months ago? Well, it really does seem that vehicles are firmly in the development sites at the moment, as this is how they're currently looking. The textures are only temporary, and I don't know if they'll be ready in any way this month, but it does look like there's a drive to get them off of the roadmap and onto the actual roads. It seems from previous statements that there will be a couple of sizes of chassis and a number of different modules to customize them with. Engines will be needed, and there may be a server limit on these. Also, please curb your venom when it comes to imagining clans majestically sweeping over the landscape, mowing down all and sundry with extreme prejudice, as it appears that they may have limited off-road usefulness. This is all just supposition, of course, and there's a lot we still don't know, but stay tuned, as I will, of course, keep you firmly in the loop when I know more. Thank you for watching, and do spank those like and subscribe buttons, won't you? Come and follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Discord, and my Steam group, and I shall catch you all soon. But in the meantime, keep calm and stay rusty. Cheerio.
All right, and there's an update from our good friend Shadow Frax.
As you can see, there are vehicles in there now, so that's going to be something happening. But
Happening is a word.
as he hinted at the end, it's not going to be something that you're going to just be in total off-roader on. Yeah, they're more just let's get from here to there. I'm surprised they've got the horses in there. I'd rather see people riding horses personally, but
Yeah, that seems to fit in with your cowboy thing. Now, Matt brought up a good point in here, saying Rust is a good example of a game that started off rough but is now pretty mainstream. And I do remember when Rust came out, it wasn't coming off of.
It started out as a zombie game.
It did start out as a zombie game, and it wasn't really anything. And obviously, we've talked about in current players, as we have in the past, however long we've been doing that. But it constantly has got 30 to 45,000 players as a peak a week. So yeah, that's a very good example of a game that, you know, through consistency they made it work. And
Yep.
you know, there's
It's got its own little niche.
yeah, there is, and it's a specific set of people that play it, and the people that play it enjoy it. Because looking at the numbers right now, there's 18,000 people playing it. So obviously they're doing something right to get those people to keep coming back day after day after day. So
It's a nice world. I mean, as far as like they've made a good game, it's just it's turned into that trolley game, just the way that it's built. And so the people that want to play that kind of a game are gravitate towards it. I think they could use this environment. They're using the technology to come out with this new title anyway. So I think that they're going to make something that's not so trolly because they've got all the technology down. I mean, it's a very well made game. So I think that with this, I think that that's going to cause them to go in and have a game that's more playable by people that aren't looking to just PvP constantly.
absolutely. So yeah, there you go. It's got its player base, and yeah, there you go. People that play it seem to really enjoy it. Not my cup of tea, but you know.
Yeah, I try. We still have our server up, so if you're interested in playing, we do have our server running, and it's open to people who want to go in there and play some Rust without having a ton. I mean, there's still PvP in there, but you know we don't have a bunch of people just constantly PvPing in there. So
Yeah.
it's a good way to go discover the world, look at the map. All right, so Unturned, there is an update that happened this past week, and this is 3.23.7.0. They added alpha blended decal mode. So default, the decals are masked, but now they can do a blend on there. Also, they added the player life health, player life food, player life water, and player life virus NPC condition types. They added core military vehicles to example folders to make custom versions for maps easier. They added boss nuclear zombie type for nuclear power plants on custom maps. And then they did a few tweaks here. Tweaks and fixes that just for little issues that they had. Upcoming, though, he says the majority of the time has been spent on the 4.0, 4. Whatever versions. He's trying to get it polished for beta soon, but he's also been working on, with several teams for an upcoming content. So in the near future, we should have the third Greece update. Another 2 maps from new curated teams are nearing completion. So you should have a couple new maps here pretty soon that are for the 3. Whatever versions. But as he said, for him personally, he's been working on the new Unreal Engine version that's going to be coming out hopefully soon. As he said, he's trying to get the really polished beta ready. So we will see. And we'll have to have him back on to talk about maybe when he gets pretty close to having the 4. Whatever versions. We can get him on here and he can talk about it, maybe show off some stuff, and be interesting to see what he does differently from the version of Unturned that we all know. So that is Unturned. All right. So another one that there was actually a lot of updates for this week. It was the Long Dark. They hotfixed to version 1.27. And it's the one thing that they did in this is they upgraded the Unity game engine version. They discussed it a little while ago, but they actually got that to be a more current version. The Unity upgrade included in this hotfix has changed the location of the debug log. So they give instructions for finding that because by default it's somewhere else in the new version. And then there's a change list, numerous art optimizations to improve performance, numerous environment optimizations, general optimizations. And I'm assuming some of these things are now available because of this Unity engine upgrade. So these are things they're actually able to take advantage of. The update to the rewired controller API for improved compatibility with gamepad controllers, fixed several rare crashes, disabled crash reporting for modded games to reduce the amount of non-relevant crash report data they've been getting because they don't want to get reports for just because someone made a mod wrong. They have on here whether it's for both for survival mode or winter mute for some of these updates, but they've added a lot of art. So like moose sign scratches now appear in the correct color and texture across all regions. Added signs. They added just a lot of fixes to the visualizations and things that they, I guess, had maybe missed. I think they kind of put everything on hold for a little while doing that upgrade. They did some fixes to the gameplay and user interface on here. They fixed a lot of audio, cinematics. They fixed the lighting issue, collision issues. Then they have some just generic fixes, and it's probably about 5 pages worth of fixes that they did. So that's 1.27 of the long dark. This is a completed game, so this will mostly be fixes, and looks like they're just doing some updates to this. But they did talk about in their dev diary what they're hoping to do with this game. They've been doing episode 3 because they're doing the story in episodes. So episode 1, episode 2, episode 1 and 2 Redux, and then episode 3 is what they're working on right now. So on here, if you are following the story, they're getting the new episode out pretty soon. But they're also trying to improve the previous ones, just make them look better. And that's a lot of what that art updates that they have. One thing that they're doing is like fully voiced dialogue sequences outside of the cinematics. They said some of the previous developer diaries, there were several consistent pieces of negative feedback in users and critics' reviews around the forced linearity of our mission structure. So compared to the openness of the survival mode, and then not having the voice dialogues, some glitches in the bear hunt, and issues with the opening tutorial. It's always their intention, they said, that things would open up and become less linear in episode 3 and beyond. But after considering the feedback about episodes 1 and 2, they felt that making the player go through 15 to 20 hours of fairly linear missions so that they could get to episode 3's more open structure was asking too much. So one of the things that they're doing is going back to episode 1 and 2 structure and reworking them to open up so that the most missions can be done in any order, and some missions will become optional. So they wanted the whole game to be more open like that, not so much a linear track that you had to follow to go through the game. And they have like some videos just kind of showing how some of the different interactions with NPCs and things will be. But they're doing a lot of, for this being a released game, they're doing a lot of updates to it.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah, I just think that alpha is out. I think and people they can realize now, like with this, they're doing chapters. So the game's done, right? But they're adding content to it. Alpha seems to be, people think, oh, that means you're going to add content. Well, you can still add content to a non-alpha game.
Well, you say alpha is out, and I mean, of course. I mean, look at some. I mean, all of these words are jokes. I mean, alpha, beta, early access. It just, none of it means anything to me. All it means is give us your money for an unfinished product, which I'm okay with. I'm not saying that I hate paying for games that aren't finished. I'm not saying that, but early access, beta, alpha, all of those things, in my opinion, mean the same thing. We need money to continue development, and that's fine.
It used to be that you would have beta testers, and for a certain amount of time you're testing and giving feedback, and there was the end point to it. And then when that was done, then you released.
PUBG actually did that pretty well. They
had a very set. They said our deadline is this time, and we're coming out of alpha at this time. But we take a look at H1Z1. I mean, H1Z1 just went along, and they were like, "Oh, we're alpha, bro. We're alpha, bro. Make every excuse for us. There's, we don't need to have anything complete because we're in alpha. Oh, this doesn't work. Alpha. Everything was alpha excuse, and people just got so sick of it. They're like, how many years Just Survive? Talk about, for the whole length of this podcast, the number of years that we've been doing it, that game is early alpha still. I mean, you can't even say that's anywhere near completion. No chance that Just Survive is near anywhere.
No, absolutely not.
That's an example of really bad alpha. And I think that gave people such a bad taste for alpha. Plus the Kickstarters coming out that never went anywhere.
Hide and hold out.
Just took people's money. Yeah, it just took people's money. It gave such a bad name to alpha that if you look, pretty much all these titles are now out of alpha. I mean, other than Just Survive's in alpha still. But can you think of a title, one of these, what we would consider an alpha game that's still in what they're calling alpha? Rust left alpha. PUBG's out of alpha. H1Z1 left alpha.
Miscreated still.
Ark left alpha.
Miscreated.
But they've announced when they're coming out, I think.
But they haven't.
If I remember
but they're
correctly.
not out yet.
They haven't yet, but they haven't. But they still.
Is one that comes to mind.
Another one would
Conan
be
Exile,
7 Days to Die.
Conan Exiles.
But they've announced and they're going to be out. If not, I think they're out. Like, if they're not out, they're out within the next month.
And they've only been out about a year. They came out a very similar time, right around PAX East, because we met Jens Erik there. So they've been out. So about a year.
They've already set a deadline and they're coming out of alpha. The only other one is 7 Days to Die, which has been in the eternal alpha. But this patch has been over 6 months.
It's incredible.
But since they put out a patch,
yeah,
and so they're not exactly.
Friday the 13th is still in alpha.
They've already said that they're getting close. Like they've only got 1 or 2 patches, and then they're going to be out of alpha as well. 7 Days to Die. So almost every single one of these are jumping ship on alpha.
I will say Friday the 13th is still alpha. Elite Dangerous, I think, is still alpha. Is that correct? The Forest is alpha.
No, I think Elite Dangerous just came out of alpha.
Okay. The Forest is still alpha, right?
For I think another month or 2. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's set.
Okay, but see, that's my point. You're very accurately describing why the word doesn't mean anything, because the Forest is not going to be out of early access anytime soon. That game is so freaking broken, and there is so many things missing out of that game.
I think that for them, because they've been putting in a lot of the quest items, I think that's when they're finishing putting in the quests. And I don't know how fixed they're going to make it. I don't know that they really. I think they just want to finish the quest line and have it be a single player game. Honestly,
I guess they should have just stuck with that at the beginning.
So PH says F13 is released. So F13 came out of alpha.
Are you sure about that? Is he trolling? I think he's trolling us. There's no way that game's out of alpha.
I think they are out of alpha.
I don't know. I don't care. If they're out of alpha, that accurately describes why the terms mean nothing. I feel like we're being trolled.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that they're out of alpha.
Where's Firebomb when you need him?
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so but nevertheless, the argument is still the same. So yeah, there you go. Let's see. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, yeah. There's that accurately describes it. So
that's the thing is it's purely a term. People are, and almost everybody's getting away from it because it has such a big negative connotation now. So I don't know that we're going to see many other games come out and say, hey, we're in alpha or publicly, because I mean, there's always been betas, there's been alphas, but they were all internal development tests.
Yes.
Like internal company stuff with people running. That's what alpha was, getting a minimal client that you could run that would allow then to get to the point where beta testers could test stable enough to where they could give legitimate feedback. Features were there. And then you'd have a group of people that were running it, testing it to make sure it run on different hardware, finding inconsistencies. And then you would go through, and then after beta, like that would be all internal, no one would know about it. Then you would just release the game. And that seemed to have worked a lot better. You never had these eternal, because if they were eternal projects, they would shut down. Those are the ones that you heard about that they're like, oh, they shut down development on this because they just never got to the point where they could release. And people weren't stuck with them in their Steam libraries, a game that you can no longer play. I mean, Just Survive is now just going to be forever a name in the library of my Steam account.
That is an accurate statement.
So,
all right, well, let's, we're at about $1.50 here. So we want to announce our game giveaway and wrap up any other loose ends we got.
Yes. All right. So let me go ahead and get the thing. I've got to find my window.
Okay.
Open up too many tabs. So if you want to go on to the next one.
Well, in the meantime, while Brian is doing that, I do want to say there is a couple of ways you can support the program. You can do that over on affectionpodcast.com/support. You can check out some of the stuff going on over there. You can bookmark our Amazon code and use that to buy things on Amazon. You can do a direct contribution through PayPal. It goes through Stream Alerts, so that'll pop up on the screen during the program. as well as our Humble Bundle affiliate code if you're buying a game on Humble Bundle. The real cool thing here is that sometimes, a lot of the time, Humble Bundle's store where you purchase games and Steam store will have games for the same price, MSRP retail. But we would encourage you to buy the games through Humble Bundle. And when you do that, it helps us out. It gives us a portion of your sale, and the net result is the same. You get a good game at the exact same price, as well as our Twitch affiliate links, our Twitch bits, and all the other stuff over on twitch.tv. So we thank everybody that's been an integral part of the program, supporting the show. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up here in the very, very near future that we're excited to announce. So stay tuned for that. And we thank everybody for their support. All right, yes. Mr. Brian.
All right. So I was thinking of giving away. A copy of Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Edition.
Okay.
I can't find the thing talking about it on Steam, but I know it is for something. How about that? So, all right. So 60 points is what this one will be worth. This is the Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Edition, which means it comes with extra things. This is a game that is like an MMO, but it doesn't have a monthly subscription. So unlike WoW and things like that, you don't have to sit there and renew it constantly, pay $15 a month or anything like that. It is a pay once and then you own it for the rest of the time. So you can keep playing it. So so go and roll for that. This is a game that we've all played. I think it's pretty interesting. I got it on here. I'm going to pull up what Tamriel comes with. I think it comes with the. I don't see. I'm looking for a thing that shows specifically what Tamriel Unlimited is, but I'll pull it up before we do the giveaway. I'll give a list of it because it gives you some bonuses, things in game. So I just don't want to give the wrong information on here.
All right. Well, we will. I think we've got all. We covered all of our stories.
So Survive the Night there's a change log, which isn't so much, but one thing I was going to mention is that they're adding an electrical system, and so there's a video that shows that. But because there's a bunch of things that they've changed, but this is specifically the electrical system that they've added. So what we've got here showing right now is him putting down a generator, and then he's adding fuel to it, and then he's interacting with it. So that's pretty much him putting the fuel into the thing. It's showing him how much time that will generate, and he's plugged it into an outlet. And so now he's going to go inside. He's got the generator running right now. So he's going inside to a
breaker
panel that he can flip the switch on to turn it on. Next to it, he's got a light switch. These are all things that he's placed, to be able to give power.
That's pretty
neat.
And
then it turns on. Yeah, it turns on power to the house. Now he's going out to. There's a sign at this location, so he's flipping the switch on for inside, and then there's a sign that you can see lights up.
That's awesome.
And then in game, so you can power, take over that building, and then be able to have lights on it and things like that.
That is very, very cool.
So, yeah. So
wow.
I thought that was interesting. That's just one of the things, but there was something they had a video for. The change list that they're actually doing is pretty big. So
I'll tell you, I am very, very impressed with things that are so daily in real life. Like you walk into a room, you flip up a light switch, and the light comes on. In any developed country, that is just a reality. You don't think about the cost associated with it. You turn your light on. It's just what you do. And I'm very, very impressed with games when they do stuff like electricity. Ark has got a terrible electrical system. It's an abomination. Yep. It's all these stupid lines and wires going everywhere. It works, but it's not very good.
Yeah.
So I'm very impressed when I see stuff like that. That's a really, really cool thing.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting. they did it much better, as you said, than some of these other games where it's just a mess. And then what's funny was with Ark, you've got mods that fix it, yet the base game is just horrible.
Yeah.
And so I don't know why. I don't know why they've kept it that way. So the Tamriel edition, as I was going to mention, is worth about $20. So if you were to go onto Amazon right now and try to purchase it, it pretty much gives you access to be able to play, and it gives you perks. It's like having a subscription in a way. You get some monthly perks of money. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It replaced the previous subscription, and then you get like I think a monthly payment, like you get like 1,500 in-game credits and stuff like that.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
and full access to the game.
You can do that. Exclamation point giveaway if you're tuning in live. If you're not tuning in live, we are here every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/infection podcast. You can hang out in the chat. You can win games, give us feedback, correct us when we're wrong, which we frequently are. All of that fun stuff. So exclamation point giveaway in chat to do that. I teased it earlier, and it's probably about time to jump into it. And that is current players. Currently playing H1Z1. I wasn't kidding when I said nobody's playing this game. 582 people currently playing this game. The 24-hour peak, 826, with a 7-day peak of 1,324. Moving on, King of the Kill, currently playing this, 7,122. The 24-hour peak, 14,313. 23,715 is your 7-day peak. Moving on to Ark, Survival Evolved. A little bit shy of 30,000, 29,615 currently playing this game. The 24-hour peak, 46,172, with a 7-day peak of 59,701. Moving on to Rust, talking about the player base with this, 17,783 currently playing this. The 24-hour peak, 31,033, with a 7-day peak of 42,933. Not too far off from the Rust numbers, actually quite surprising. And Unturned. Moving on to Unturned here, 8,731 currently playing this. Your 24-hour peak, 17,590, with 21,847 being your 7-day peak. And wrapping it up with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Currently playing this game, 355,061. Your 24-hour peak is 2,329,156, with a 7-day peak of 2,747,269. And that is going to do it for current players.
China must be asleep right now, so
yeah, there's not really. Both
it goes from 2 million whatever to 300 and whatever.
Well, not even with that, but H1Z1's, even King of the Kills numbers, I wonder if there's an issue with them. They're down a lot compared to last week. Now, we do also have to keep in mind that, we're following the trend of the new game mode, the Auto Royale.
Yeah.
But the numbers are just down.
Yeah.
The numbers are just kind of heading back down in that place. And as we get a couple weeks further on, we'll actually be able to see the bump from Auto Royale if it doesn't stay, if the player base tapers.
I have a feeling it's not going to stay.
It won't. But yeah, you never know.
Yep, we'll see. All right, so are we ready for tip of the week?
We are.
All right, tip of the week is where we go through and either I give a general gaming tip or one specific to a game. And this week it is going to be for PUBG. So this is tip of the week.
Oh, where's my intro?
Dun-dun-dun,
I have a black screen.
Nice.
Let me click reload.
Try it again.
Welcome. This is tip of the week. There we go.
All right. All right, so I just want to give some tips to get kind of an edge on the competition in PUBG, and these also will correlate to the mobile. So that's one thing with these. The mobile game and the PC game are pretty close to identical as far as how they operate. So these tips will work for both. First, if you want to be a little bit quieter in the game, you need to take off your shoes because one interesting thing is there's no speed difference when you are barefoot versus wearing shoes. And so if you want to just be a little bit quieter, but be able to run at the exact same speed, take off your shoes. Also, when you put away your weapon, that gives you a 6% speed boost. So when you're running, you can put your weapon away, just put it on your back and get a little bit extra speed if you're trying to run to beat the zone, or maybe run out of a red zone. Also, vehicles, this is something that I've discovered the hard way, is that vehicles will roll downhill. I had one where I jumped out of a vehicle really quickly in a gunfight, and then my vehicle, it felt like it rolled about half a mile down a hill. So I killed the guy, and then I had to do the run of shame to go get my vehicle, which was as the zone was rolling in. So one thing you can do with this is just remember, if it hits something on the way down, there's a very good possibility that your vehicle will blow up. So this is something that you may want to use. You could use to your advantage. Maybe there's something, for some reason, someone you want to blow up at the bottom of a hill. You just get your vehicle rolling a little bit, step out, and the thing will keep going down and explode at the bottom. So also, you can get your vehicle to low health and then roll it into somebody. But the thing is this, it's not as good to jump out of a moving vehicle anymore. So we could do this in games like H1Z1 back in the day. But yeah, if you can get it to where you can get it to them and then blow it up, at least if it's rolling downhill, you don't have to die on the way. So that is tip of the week.
Alrighty. And thank you very much for that, Brian. And thanks to Locklore, who has resubscribed to the channel here. Thank him for that. And as we said earlier in the program, I believe this is about a month that we've had our Twitch affiliate program. So if you if your Twitch subscription, your Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime subscription is up for renewal, we'd love to have it here on this channel. You can click the subscribe button in the upper right hand corner of the video. Click Twitch, free Twitch. I don't know what it says. Subscribe with Twitch Prime, I think is what it says, something like that. And you can do that every month, and it will help support the program. So thank you, Locklore, and thanks to everybody else that has already been subscribed, and hopefully will continue to subscribe to the program.
Yes.
All right.
Appreciate it very much. All right, so we're ready for this last giveaway.
I'd say
Go ahead and roll this. So congratulations. The guy who just subscribed has won. It's not rigged, I swear. Locklore 97. So you'll get a copy of Tamriel Unlimited, which is a very, very fun game. We played it as a group. There's a lot to it. I mean, it's a full-size MMO. It's tons of depth. But the beautiful thing is there is no monthly subscription fee, so you don't have to feel obligated to sit and play it all the time. You can sit there and play it whenever you feel like it. So definitely check it out. It's a free to play game in general, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think there's parts of it that are free. I think there's a limited amount you can do, if I remember correctly. But the thing that I give away is the whole world. Like, you can do access to everything inside of the game.
Yeah, and obviously, thanks to Locklow for subscribing. We'll help you out there, help you out there with the game. Help you out there with the game giveaway. So yeah, there you go. You know what we're going to start doing on the show, and this is what everybody's going to love. We're going to roll for a mystery game. So you'll bet your cans, and cans is for people that have never tuned in live. That's our currency that our bot keeps track of. For every minute you watch, you get a can. For every can, the giveaway, it's going to be random. So it'll be like a loot box. You may get a really good game. You may get like a free-to-play Steam key. Which you may get nothing. I mean, that's great. And you'll also make it so that you can buy cans, virtual currency. You can buy into the program.
The silver cans.
Yes, silver cans. $10.
We have our rusty cans, which are the free ones, and then we have special things you can get with silver cans.
I mean, hey, if Ubisoft and EA and Rockstar and everybody else can get $50 for 10 cans, be a great deal. If everybody else can do it, why can't we? We're kind of a big deal. So yeah, thanks Locklore. Thanks for the subscription, and congratulations on the giveaway. Total joke that he there was no rig there. I believe he was the only one that entered. So
yeah,
he got it.
which is a great game. It's worth like $20. So
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, people would want free, but
you would
I
think
think we
so.
spoiled our audience where it's hard to give them away a game anymore. They're like, oh, I have that one, or which
Yeah,
was
we
fine.
probably do
You know,
need to reconvene on how we want to keep doing that, because the problem is you're giving away good games, but a lot of the games that you have are given to you. Like, for example, I know Deacon gave you a couple games in the past that came from a Humble Bundle. A lot of people buy the
which
Humble Bundles.
a lot of people are,
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to give away a game when 90% of the people already have it.
Yeah, so we'll find a new way. We'll continue with the giveaways because I think it's a cool feature. But we'll find a way. Maybe we'll just do one per show, or maybe we should probably just start doing one per show. Do it at the end. That's probably the best solution. So, but we'll talk about that, and we'll see how that goes. So, other than that, I hope everybody has a good time playing RoboCraft Royale. I'm not being sarcastic, but I will not be in town, so I will not be playing. I will be away for a couple of days, but I will be back. I made sure, I could have gotten a flight in the afternoon, Brian, coming back on Tuesday, but we have this podcast, so I have to leave at 6 a.m. to make sure I'm back with enough buffer time to, have the podcast ready to go. So, that's what it is. So I'm dedicated. I'm all in. I could have flown out at like noon. It would have been great, but I would have gotten back at like 4, and if my flight gets delayed, that's not close. That's not good enough. So we're flying out nice and early.
So we will be on for next week.
Unless like the plane blows up or something like that. But
we're not planning on the plane blowing up.
No, other than that. Yeah,
you can have a real life, the forest, thing goes down.
Yeah, like, oh God, there's a suitcase in this water. Let me open up suitcase. It'll be great.
Start stabbing it. Yeah.
Just like the forest. Hit things with my hatchet, and treasures will come, and then random people will join the server and destroy all of my structures. It'll be great.
Destroy your logs, yeah.
So yes, we'll be here next Tuesday. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Wrap up the show. This nonsense.
All right. So if you want to find me at Boise Computer, or of course you can go on Twitter, or you can go to my blog, biteoftech.com. Also, make sure you go and join our Discord server. If you're someone who just listens, go to our website, infectionpodcast.com. On the right-hand side, there's a join server, which is a nice little green button. It'll connect you to Discord, which is a free audio and text, and it also has a video on there. I guess if you want to do a video share app that has a mobile version, desktop app, also a web-based version. It's very easy, lightweight, and it's the way that we communicate throughout the week. And so if you go on there, also, if you'd like notifications before the show starts, just go to our Steam group. If you join that, you get a little pop-up notification about 10 minutes before the show starts. And and hopefully anybody who can be there for our game of the week, it is a free to play game. Just get it downloaded. Maybe go in there, because you can have pre-set up vehicles. We'll have to see if this operates any differently, but it is a separate client. So make sure you go in there and get it all downloaded and make sure it runs. And then if you want to have a custom vehicle, if they have that option, you may want to go in there and get that all configured beforehand and test it a few times, so you don't go in there and don't have the ability to even move.
Absolutely. Brian, thank you very much. Have a good Easter, and we'll talk with you next week.
Sounds good. See you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the program this evening. You can visit our website, infectionpodcast.com. If you're traveling for Easter, safe travels. If you're celebrating, have a happy Easter. If not, we will see you here next Tuesday at 7. My name is Nick Craig. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig, and visit our website, infectionpodcast.com. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week.